Hello, people. So today's project, I is going to be painting my chair, and I'm going to just flip this here. And I purchased this chair at, there you go. I purchased this chair at an estate sale. And I love the bones of it. I love the shape. It's really very sturdy. I love the legs. What I don't love is this fabric. So, if you remember, I painted my dresser peach, and my room is looking like it's going to be like black, peach, light blue, and cream. Seems to be the theme that I'm going with color-wise. And so I'm going to just finish it out with some peach chalk paint. But what I want to do is I want to give it like a leather feel. So I'm going to do one coat today and let it get all the way dry. And then I'm going to put this, sand it before I put the second coat. And then tomorrow I have to just run to Home Depot and grab a wax to finish it with so that it's nice and soft. But this is the chair. This is the before. Let me take a picture. For the legs, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to leave it dark or if I'm going to paint it white. I'm just going to clean them up a little bit and see how the dark legs look on the peach fabric when I'm done, and then I'll decide. But for right now, I'm going to leave them as they are and just maybe clean them up and polish them a little bit. But I do have the white legs as an option for this chair. So let's get to painting. So I wanted you guys to see that the nap on this chair and the texture that's on this chair means that I have to maybe make this a little bit more moist than I would a chair with less texture, because I want to make sure that the paint gets all the way into the fabric. So because this is different size webs, especially like in these areas here, I gotta just make it a little bit wetter than I would. Oops, I put it in the paint instead of the water, but that's fine. Make it a little bit wetter than I normally would, because I want to make sure that all the yellow is covered as much as possible. And then there's going to be a second coat, so I'm not going crazy, but in the original coating I just want to make sure that I get the color into the fabric as much as possible. So I'm just kind of going over it very, very carefully to make sure that I get all the spots. I don't want any yellow showing. And because this is like a peach color on top of a yellow, I am alternating between the wet and the dry, or the not so wet, I guess, brush, so that I can just control it a little bit, and so that I can see exactly where needs more work and focus to cover with all the color. Because some of this is a little bit more raised, some of it is a little bit more flat, so the color coverage is not going to be super even. But that's also why I'm doing it a little thicker and wetter than I normally would. Wet to spread, semi-wet to cover. Especially a little bit thicker around these areas that are like the buttonholes, so that we get all in the creases. And it's just a much easier way of changing the color on your furniture. I have asthma, so I can't upholster as much as I love it. It would just make me break out all in hives. So I love a good painted piece of furniture. It's very, very, very transformative. So we're just going to keep going. And this is round one. So I have started to sand it down because the areas where the fabric is a little bit risen or the weft is a little higher, it is really, really tough. So when you sand it, it makes it just feel a little bit smoother, and then a lot smoother actually. And then and it's just to the touch. You don't want to scrape off too much paint, but it's fine if some comes off. And you just sand it till smooth, and then we're going to add our second coat and see what that looks like. Awesome. So now we are sanded. It is much smoother, especially in the high wet sections where there's just extra texture. But I love the way it looks. I'm going to do the second coat now. We're not going to do the second coat with water. We're just going to do a nice solid coverage so that we get everything and all the little spaces and creases covered. I'm going to use a smaller brush so that I can make sure that I can get in all the little tiny spaces that I need. Hey guys, so the chair is finished. I have applied the wax and now it's fully dry. And it is a little stiff, but I do love the way that it came out. I do anticipate that just sitting in is going to loosen it up and give it some of that natural wear. But I love the fact that the weft is still visible. The pattern is still visible, which I did love the pattern, so I'm happy about that. It is still, maybe I can do a little bit of sanding, but I'm a little leery to sand on the wax, but I might just sand, just in these corners and crevices where it's a little dark. And guess what? I don't even mind that you can see a little hint of yellow. I think it goes really well. Peach is one of those colors that is derived from yellow anyway. So, it has tones of yellow in it, usually the peach, so it doesn't bother me that you can see a little bit of yellow come through. It gives it a little bit of dimension. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. Please excuse my floor. There's paint everywhere, but I'm gonna redo the floors anyway. And then so I decided to leave the legs black because I felt like white would have just made it, given it too much of a country look. So I really like the dark and that it's a little bit weathered. It's a little distressed. It doesn't look brand new. Neither does the fabric, by the way. There are some imperfections that I like. I don't like when anything is too perfect. It gives it a very modern feel, and I'm not really going for modern in my room. I just want it to be like, I don't know, comfy chic, I guess. So that's it. That's the chair. And I use peach chalk paint that they mix for me at Home Depot. And to seal it, I use just a regular wax. The wax is called a matte, clear, chalked protective top coat. So I didn't use the wax, I used the top coat. I bought both, but I decided the wax is going to go on the dresser. And I put the top coat on the chair. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds like leather. It feels like leather. And I'm really excited about the way it came out.